I loved working with you because you looked at all the data and came up with the root cause and then came up with a plan to solve the issue. I felt like that made my treatment plan go faster than just guessing based on my symptoms. When this all first started, I was experiencing really bad bloating and constipation. So constant constipation and bloating. And then on my left side, I was experiencing a lot of pain. I guess it slowly developed over time and then got to the point where I felt like I needed to do something about it. It was completely disrupting my life. I couldn't eat. It became to the point where all I could eat was protein because every time I ate anything that was carb related, my stomach would start hurting or it would get extremely bloated. Because I wasn't eating well, I felt like I was struggling with energy and a little bit of brain fog. And also, I worked out all the time. And so my workouts were suffering. I just felt lethargic, I guess, all the time. And it was just, really draining on my body and my mental state for the way I felt.
If I remember right, the left-sided pain that you were experiencing, that would kind of worsen when you would exercise and kind of limit what you were doing?
Correct. Correct. It would get worse. And then also get worse when I ate anything other than protein.
What kind of things did you try prior to coming to see us, testing, diets, medications? Like, share with us a little bit on what kind of things you did prior to coming here.
So I went to go see a traditional doctor and they ran, traditional tests. They did an MRI, they did x-rays because of the pain on my left side. And of course, they didn't find anything. So they tried to give me just medicine for acid reflux, which of course didn't help at all. And then they just were out of ideas. They just wanted to treat the symptoms and it just wasn't getting anywhere for me. So I ended up seeing another um, functional doctor who diagnosed the SIBO through the breath test. And then she tried with protocol where you drink the protein shake, substance shake, but didn't eat anything else for 14 days. So we did that 2 rounds. So for 28 days, not consecutively, but for 28 days, I drank nothing but this protein shake and didn't eat anything else trying to kill off the SIBO. That did not work. As soon as I started eating again, it came right back. She also tried to do just a traditional antibiotic. That was for 14 days. That didn't work. And then we tried just natural substances or supplements like garlic and berberine. That made me feel good when I was taking them, but as soon as I tried not to take them or we backed down on the dosing, as soon as I would eat anything consecutively, particularly if it had carbs in it, my bloating and constipation came back right away. And as far as my diet, again, I was still focusing mostly on protein. And then I love vegetables. And so that was really hard for me to cut out all the vegetables and and just eat the protein to make myself feel better. Yeah, so now I feel great, absolutely great. I feel as good, if not better, than I did before this all started. My workouts are back to normal. I'm actually rebuilding my muscle because during the process of not eating right and continuing to work out, I was depleting my muscle. So now I feel like my muscle tone is coming back. I'm actually lifting heavier than I ever have.
Good.
So
Good,
I
good.
feel good about that. And I don't feel like I have any problems with anything that I eat now. So yeah, I feel absolutely great now.
At what point in the protocol, when you were working with us, did you feel the biggest shift in your health?
I think it was after we did the stool test and you found out that it was Candida that I was full of, and we started the supplement protocol for taking care of that. I noticed almost immediately after I started the supplements relief with the constipation and the bloating all the time.
When we were doing the protocols and you were feeling better, you had a couple occasions still, right, where you had to go on antibiotics for a little while to kind of clear out some of those symptoms while we were doing that?
Correct. So I think after we got some of the bloating taken care of, I was still feeling the pain in my left side in my pancreas area. And so I started taking some of the supplements again, or the antibiotics again, to relieve some of that pain on my left side, which again, it was helping when I was taking them, but as soon as I stopped taking them, it would come right back.
And what was the thing that we did that you felt that was the biggest help in terms of keeping your symptoms away and feeling good long term?
Well, I think it was the overall supplement protocols, but then in the end, it was the HCl supplement that you recommended that I take that has kept everything in check for me. And as you know, I think that was one of the last things we ended up doing, but it honestly has been great.
So when we see that low elastase on a stool panel, right, one of the common reasons why that can be low is it doesn't get the signal from proper amounts of stomach acid to make the enzymes. And so one of the biggest reasons elastase would go down is because of low stomach acid. There's not a great stomach acid test out there. Obviously, somebody could have belching during or after their meals. They could get full quick. They could have acid reflux. They could have bloating. They could have constipation, diarrhea. They can have a lot of different symptoms. So there's not a perfect test, but there is, you can look at mechanisms and understand physiology of the gut, try to figure out why does the bacterial overgrowth keep happening, or the fungal overgrowth or Candida, or why do the symptoms keep returning once they're off of antimicrobial like herbs. When we don't have enough stomach acid, it welcomes bacteria and it welcomes overgrowth. And so if we can optimize stomach acid, it is your big protector to try to prevent these symptoms from coming back, try to prevent the bacteria from accumulating and being overgrown. And that, I think, was the biggest, turning point in your case was that, and supporting with some enzymes, encouraging motility, because low stomach acid is going to impact motility as well. So if we can increase the stomach acid, it can also then therefore help with motility, and then help with gas and bloating, bowel movements, everything like that, and discomfort, pain. And I do think that was one of your big turning points. How long do you think that you felt really, really good for with little to no issues?
Probably been 4 or 5 months now that I've felt really good.
Yeah. And that's the longest stretch since all this happened, correct?
Correct. Oh, for sure. Correct.
Good. How was your overall experience kind of working with, me and Restorative Health Solutions, the staff, the whole clinic, the process, the communication? Like, what was your overall experience with us?
My overall experience has been great. I feel like you've been a great listener of what has been going on. I love the idea of that you look at the data, you look at the tests that you run, and you come up with solutions. You're just not treating the symptoms because, yeah, as you know, all conditions can have the same symptoms. And I feel like traditional doctors are just trying to treat the symptoms instead of looking at the root cause. So I loved working with you because you looked at all the data and came up with the root cause and then came up with a plan to solve the issue. I felt like that made my treatment plan go faster than just guessing based on my symptoms. Your staff is awesome. They are so helpful and efficient. I also love that I didn't have to come into the office to see you. All of our calls were Zoom other than our initial consultation, which made it easy for me because I do not live close to your office. So that made it very convenient. And also with the supplements, it's so easy to get the supplements either online or just call your staff and they will send them out to you. So very easy process. So that makes it easy to be a patient and stay a patient.
And one of the biggest messages is, right, test, don't guess. Everybody's so different. And so when we look at like how many possibilities we can have that causes, digestive symptoms or bloating, right? When we start testing, we can really start to narrow down and try to figure out what that root cause is for that individual person. A lot more streamlined approach. in terms of what are we going to do for, diet for this person? What are we going to do for lifestyle recommendations? What are we going to do for supplements? And how long do we have to be on these supplements? What should we do for a maintenance plan? And I always tell everybody, right, I want to try to get you better and help you get better, but the most important thing for us is to try to keep you better long term.
I think part of my biggest frustration with the route I had been going before I came here was they only took me so far and then didn't have an idea or a plan to continue going, even though I wasn't feeling better. And that's what I think that was one of the first things in our initial consultation that I said to you is like, I need a plan. I need to know where we're going with my treatment and what is the thought process that you have to get me well. Not just guessing like what to do next, but have an idea. And so that was a big concern of mine when I came to you, and you absolutely checked that box.
So happy to hear that you're doing really, really well, and we just gotta, keep you rolling, keep you feeling good long term. That's the ultimate goal. Is there anything you'd like to say to someone that's listening to this, that's in a similar boat that you used to be in, that's struggling, maybe has done the traditional medical route and is told everything's normal?
I would say they have to invest in their health. I think it's 100% worth it. And I obviously can tell you from experience, from how miserable I was when I came to you to how I feel now is just day and night. And so it's just 100% worth taking the time. And, I'll also say spending the money, because I know that that can be a big hurdle for people, spending the money. But if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And so if you're miserable every day, that's gonna spill over into the quality of your life in every aspect. And so it is absolutely 100% worth taking the time and spending the money to get healthy. I'm just thrilled that I'm feeling this well, especially when in the beginning I was told if I have SIBO that it's something that you manage, it's not something you cure. And I 100% feel like I'm cured.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking time with us today and telling your story. And thank you so much once again.
Yeah, happy to do so.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks.
Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.